Okay, the difference between a leader, a manager, and a commander, all these conversations, what's the definition of a leader, and then all this stuff, right? It's very, very simple, okay? We have a leader, we have a manager, we have a commander. Now the reason we have those terms is all business processes come from the military. All business terminology comes from the military. But when the civilian leadership and civilian organizations took this over, they kept the authority of the rank structure, but they got the system upside down. So the military system of leadership, the military system of training is the most effective known to man in the environment of war. Okay, so corporate took the pieces that they wanted, that made them effective in business, but they've now got it backwards because it's a continuum, right? So the leader is very, very simple. The leader is at the front. Yeah, that's where the term front line comes from. Because at the front line, on the other side of that was the enemy. Simple, right? So the leader at the front, the leader in any military group that commands the most men in battle in the front line is the section commander, who is a corporal and is responsible for 10 men. And the leader is at the front, which means there are people following them. If there's no one following you, you are not a leader. All right? Now, all the way back to behind enemy was behind enemy lines, and then all the way back at rear echelon was back where all the headquarters group were and all the managers were. This is where the general was. General's at the back. Right, they are as far away from the enemy as you possibly can. And how effective you were as a commander, and we can use Chinese whispers as an example here, is how can they get their strategic intention to the front line. Now, you can't leave the front line out there by themselves, so you always have to make sure that you are providing your front line with everything they need to fight this battle. And then you need a gap in the middle here that is filled by roles to manage that process. So all your managers in here. So in here is where all your operations are run. This is headquarters group, operations, frontline, okay? Military construct, very, very simple. As far away from the enemy as we can. Now if we take this to corporate and civilian, it's not the enemy, right? It's prospects. And you run that all the way through down into prospective clients, into customers, etc., etc., etc. So again, the front line, your frontline staff, they're actually your leaders, not your CEOs. The CEO's here. The COO is here. CFO runs between everything, goes over here to our team leaders, and then we've got our team. And our team and your frontline staff and the people at reception, they're your leaders, because those are who the clients see first. But we don't like that in an ego state, because in the org chart, who's at the top? The CEO's at the top, and that staff member is down the bottom. And so what COVID identified, which we already knew, was as soon as that term essential worker came out, they put everyone at the upper echelon as essential workers. They didn't take this into account, because what generally happens in an organization is however effective the commander is in linking all of this together, that's where the leadership comes from. But you're not leading from the front, you're commanding from the back. So AI can't do this. AI can't lead people. Now, AI can be an awesome employee. AI could actually be an awesome manager, manage a whole lot of tasks and send out information, all the rest of it. People will not follow AI. And AI can actually get to the point where they can be the commander. You can have a robot spitting out instructions and lessons, all the rest of it, and telling people what to do. No one will follow them. People follow people. Yeah, so that's the difference between a leader, a manager, and a commander. The military construct that the civilian organizations used is upside down, and COVID exposed that. Now, the other difference between these two, apart from its war and life and death and its business, we're still using all the same terms. Frontline staff, team leaders, ops managers, operations managers, headquarters group, training cell. It's all military terminology. But the military functions because they know their roles and they know where they sit. And those corporate organisations that understand this know that this bit here is the hypoxia that holds it all together. Now you imagine this, someone that's been at the front line, that knows your business intimately, gets promoted and becomes an operations manager, so they know exactly what to feed to the front line and what to communicate to headquarters. Headquarters is training this person to understand their strategic intent and their language, and they act as the interpreter and coming back through here. So most of us started on the front line, became operations managers and regional operations managers, so we're running regions of this, and then we became CEOs of our own company, and then we start running all of these things. Yeah. Now coming back in the consultant term, as we expand everything that we're doing, we're reteaching all of this. So our corporate wellness and retreats are all starting with understanding this from a strategic level for our corporate wellness architecture, training our leaders to lead during crisis. Now when crisis comes and you've got the microphone, that CEO can come straight to the front. And if that CEO comes straight to the front and starts communicating with their staff and wrapping it all up, he's already got, or she's already got the strategic intent, knows how everything runs. Now she can, or he can be at the front and lead. And he can lead your people through crisis, and they will follow you. And that's the difference. With headhunters, like I said at the start of this video, having a field day, how many of you would follow your CEO into battle? How many of you would follow your CEO, put your trust in your CEO that they're going to look after you and your family? Very hard to sell that at the moment when you're replacing all your staff for robots and focusing on AI and not people. So you've got to combine this. You can't disregard AI, it's the future. But you must stay the commander of your organization. Sure, use AI to manage and do tasks and everything else. You must stay the commander, and you must train your leaders. And if your leaders have come from frontline, it's a heck of a lot easier if you run this strategy. So I'm going to do a separate presentation on the magic triangle of momentum for organizations that can come out here into 2026 and get momentum. But you should have started already. We're a week down already. If you are just coming back to work now, you're not starting anything, you're behind. And so for all those clients that have our proposals, they're all set. If they say yes now, we're off. You will never catch us. So just to go through and recap, on the 1st of this year, I explained the crisis to wellness continuum so that you can design your corporate wellness architecture, or you can get us to come in and run that, or run an event or retreat to teach your leaders this, because staff is the next crisis. It's today. 1 week is gone. There's 51 weeks to go. I told you that the human and the artificial side are at odds at the moment. If you do this incorrectly, we can combine it, but people follow people, not AI. I explain the mechanics, the mindset to get to momentum. I'll give you a quick summary on the crisis to wellness continuum. That is critical for now. And then we went through leader, manager, and commander. These other conversations are low level. What's the definition of a leader, a manager, commander? Doesn't matter. All right. What it matters is where are they, and are they fulfilling their roles? If you're a leader, are people following you? If you're a manager, are you empowering the front line based on the commander's strategic intent? That's it. Yeah. Don't believe me? Chuck it into GPT. Have the same conversation. It'll filter out all the rubbish. Great tool. Some of us humans already know this stuff. So what do you need to do next? You need to design your corporate wellness strategy to take all of this into account. Start training your staff. In there you create your wellness academies. Start training your staff. Your leaders that you are focusing on first, you take them through our crisis leadership training. 3-day crisis leadership course gets them ready for the next crisis that will come. 1 week's gone. Next week, you could have no power where you are. Next week, you could have no internet. Next week, you could have a gas leak. No one can go to work. Next week, your whole workforce might not be allowed to come to work because of immigration rules. There's always a crisis around the corner. The next crisis is staff. And for all of this, as a leader, you got to be confident in all of this. And so we have our confidence training through all of this going on and moving forward. So let's see who does what. The comments have been quite interesting on LinkedIn. But if you're just starting now, you're already behind. It's the year of the fire horse. You got to come out the gate quickly. See you soon.